Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Rainmakers Roundup. I'm your host, Mark Iorio, and guess who I have today? The newly minted president of Imbue Creative, Erin Klebaur. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh my God, I'm so happy for you.
You see the smile? Yeah, that's how I feel.
No, I don't see it.
I'm very excited.
You should be.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very much.
Very well deserved. A lot of people overuse that. You know, I've watched you, I guess over the last, I've been running my firm for 30 years, so I've watched you. I don't know if you remember when you were at Jasna Polana, I was a member there.
No.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, that whole time I was a member for 9 years.
Wow. So it
Yes.
has been a while.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah.
So here you are. You ascend to the presidency of Imbue Creative. It's got to be so much fun.
Mm-hmm. It is. It really is.
Yeah. Erin, tell us a little bit about Imbue and the whole ascension to the presidency, and tell us a little bit about your background in marketing and how you got to this point.
Okay, so to start there, I mean, growing up, my mom, had an entrepreneur spirit. I watched her work hard.
Yep.
And I gleaned onto that pretty early on. But when it came to marketing, we had college students that lived upstairs. Our backyard was, the College of New Jersey, or as I knew it, growing up, Trenton State.
Sure.
And we had college students that lived in our attic. We had 2 bedrooms and a common room. Yeah, there's always good stuff going on in the Higgins house, now Klebaur. But one of them became very close to us, and after he graduated, we still kept in touch. And he actually wound up going into an agency, wound up owning an agency. And my mom was also a career coach.
Okay.
She worked for Caliper.
Yeah.
So between the two of them, and just me kind of being very open and understanding of who I am and
Yeah.
the things that I love,
Yeah.
they guided me to try and intern at an agency. I started with my degree as communications, liberal arts, because
Sure.
I wanted flexibility. And then I put a minor in marketing and advertising onto it. So all of that shaped me. I did an internship at Princeton Partners. And instantly gravitated to it. I wound up working later outside of my internship. They gave me a stipend. It was just really fun. And so then I took a little bit of I don't know what it is, a risk and went into fashion in New York City.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I was on Broadway in the garment district working for a women's suit line. It was horrible.
Was it really?
And I'm the type of person who, if I touch it, it's hot, I'm out. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So I didn't last too long. The commute, I felt like I was in a herd of cattle.
Yeah.
I think the straw that broke the back was I want to work very hard, but I want people to be kind.
Oh, yeah.
And I fell in the subway and scraped my shin, and people were yelling at me because I was in the way.
Oh my God.
And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I
Yeah.
thought, all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I took a break and I did cross country. I went cross country in a car that cost us like $400 on no money, nothing. And then I went into Europe and I did a couple things there. And then I thought, okay, I have to get a job.
A real job.
Tom Sullivan referred me over to Jeff at CMA.
Okay.
Because Jeff was looking for something, and him and I clicked, and he basically was looking for someone with at least 5 years experience, which I didn't have. Typical me, I convinced him that I was going to prove him wrong if he didn't hire me,
Yeah.
and he should take a risk, and he agreed, and
Wow.
it skyrocketed from there,
Yeah.
which is really great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it that drives you about marketing? What's that driving force that really makes your heart beat when you think about the world of marketing, what you're doing for other people?
Well, ultimately, you're either helping the buyer, whoever that is, reach a goal that they need to achieve. Whether it's just getting a certain product that's going to make their lives easier, or a service that's going to help them out of a certain situation. And you're also helping the business owner do the same, or just anyone in the business, really. So ultimately, I kind of, bring it down to, I take pride and joy in truly helping people make a vision that they have come to life, and then reach that goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What, so this, you worked for CMA for
14 years?
14 years, yeah.
Just about.
Yeah, and then you go over to Imbue, which is in Lambertville, this beautiful little town in New Jersey, it's a gorgeous office, by the way.
Thank you.
And then you're there for a couple of years, and then this happens, what?
I was there for not even a year.
Not even a year.
Yeah.
And this happened a month ago or so?
About a month ago.
About a month ago.
Yeah.
Tell me what that was. Tell me what that was like.
Well, making the change was a leap of faith. Michael and I sat on a board together of a marketing organization.
Yeah.
So I've known him personally that way. And when he had an opportunity to basically create a position for me, so that's another trend of mine, is if there isn't something there, I'm gonna make it. And so him and I had dinner one night, and we just started talking, and we created something. And that's how I got into Imbue. And then I just really wanted to gobble it up as much as possible. I've always had aspirations of wanting to, lead a company. At some, of some sort. And Michael, saw that in me. There was no real, defined exchange of that. There was an understanding that I wanted it, and he was looking for his next challenge.
Wow.
And so when that challenge, he told me in 10 years before I met you, I thought it would be 10 years that I'd be able to go on to something. I met you, I said, okay, maybe 5. And then a year later, I'm sitting here going, yep, she's got this, and I can't wait. And he's going to be the biggest, cheerer of all of us at Imbue, and I'm super psyched.
It's got to be interesting to see someone who has taken something from scratch. He started the business, and then to entrust someone like you to take over and run his child, in a sense. That's gotta feel really good for you. I mean, right?
It's like oh crap and yes, all at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what do you think makes Imbue different in your mind, Erin, than some of the other agencies? Not so much in a competitive way, but why do you think it's different? Why do you feel like your demeanor when you walk into the office there, you can feel it. It's not, and this is way overused, but it's like a lot like a family.
Yeah.
It really is.
Very much so.
So tell us why you think it's different.
I think it's different in a couple different ways, right? One is the authenticity of who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
So we're always ourselves. We're all individuals that are different, but really meld well together like a family.
Yeah.
And we all bring different expertise to the table. But we also won't just take on any business to take it on. And we won't lip service you.
Right.
We truly will say, in our opinion, the brand is the foundation of everything. If you don't have a good brand, then no matter what you do and how you market, it's just not going to work. So we really start there. And so we've got to make sure that the prospect or client that we're working with understands that. And if they're not open-minded to making sure that brand is right, I mean, we'll say if it's right. We're not just going to change it to change it. But if they're not open-minded to it, we're very upfront in saying it's not going to be the long-term relationship we want. You're not going to be happy. We can see it.
Yeah.
And so we're going to walk away, or we're going to recommend you to someone else. And that, I think, is just the pure honesty and expertise, because we truly believe it needs to be done well, and we want to do that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of companies, forget the marketing side of it, but a lot of companies do not hold true to those core values, and who they are, their purpose. They'll take anything on, whether it's, if you have the money, they're going to take you on as a client. And that's the thing that I saw that was so different between what you do and Michael before you. But we're going to have to take a quick break. This is flying by the way. So we're going to have to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue to talk to Erin more about what Imbue is all about and how they find new clients and what inspires her. We'll be right back after a message from our sponsors.
I want to be a contender. I want a warm belly to sleep on.
A big house.
How do I look? Do I look good?
I want to play hard.
My nails done once a month.
I want.
I want a home. I just want a home. I want someone to love.
Last year, more than 30,000 companion animals came to us without homes. 20,000 of them were felines. Let's make some homes together.
Hello everyone, I'm Mark Iorio. I'm the host of Rainmakers Roundup right here on RVN TV. The show is about looking for people who are in competitive businesses that are doing something different and unique in the world of sales and marketing. Join me right here on Rainmakers Roundup on Wednesday mornings at 9 a.m. and then again on Thursday evenings at 6:30. Welcome back to Rainmakers Roundup. I'm your host, Mark Iorio. I'm with Erin Klebaur from not from Imbue Creative, President of Imbue Creative.
Thank you.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
You keep smiling. It's
Well-
like, it's like getting engaged. It's like getting married.
Yeah.
It's, this having children. The smile never goes away. Well, it does eventually.
And then you do something different.
Right, exactly.
Right. No.
But yeah, so Erin was just recently named Imbue Creative's president, and I'm proud of you. I really am.
Thank you.
It's good stuff.
Me too.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Yeah.
You are. We were talking about what makes Imbue so different from everyone else, and the authenticity of who you are, and that's another one of those words that sounds like a platitude, that everyone uses, but when it's true, when it means something, when it comes from who you are as individuals, and you stay true to that, that core purpose.
Yeah, and that'll only get you so far too, The thing is, they're also experts. They are blowing my mind every day. I knew they were good people. I didn't know their work as deeply. And our creative director can draw anything I basically want her to and make it happen. She's not a designer that just works through the computer.
Yeah.
She's a true artist.
Yeah.
Our other designer, she has an MBA in typography.
Interesting.
And and so she understands fonts and creates her own fonts.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. So the depth of creativity that's in the in the team
Yeah.
is really different too,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Tell me how a typical relationship works with a client, Erin. What do you go through? What are the processes that you go through when you engage a new client? I'm not sure people understand quite the depth of understanding you need to have when you're helping a person or an organization market a product or service.
Yeah, and that's important. If you're working with someone or a firm and they're not asking a ton of questions
Yeah.
and challenging you in certain ways, I would be questioning, what they're doing.
Right.
But it depends on the project size. Our ideal, right now we're doing some rebranding. We're also doing website redesigns. Digital's really big. So we've got a lot of that in our works right now. And I would say, especially the branding, we start off by absorbing as much as we can from the clients. We go through an entire workshop for persona development, looking at who's your ideal buyer. We get a bunch of executives in the room, or whoever they deem is necessary. Could be different departments, accounting, because they touch one end. It could be customer service, because they touch a totally different end.
Yeah.
It really depends. And some businesses come and they have this already buttoned up, but when we're going through our full-blown, we do that kind of workshop.
Yeah.
And we're pulling from them, and that's where the teacher, moderator kind of thing comes into play.
Yeah.
Where we're guiding them, and then we make it a game. Because everything we're doing, we still want to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we'll make games out of it and get them kind of, having some dialogue, and maybe sometimes it gets a little heated, and so we've got to make that a little fun. And so, but we've got to do research, competitive research on them. Ideally, we're doing some outbound research, market research, so that we can validate what they think is their branding. And there can be a lot going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or it could be settled and we jump straight into something.
And just help design something, or
we customize it to their needs
Right.
and what makes the most sense for them.
How are you typically finding new clients? What is the process behind that? I know you obviously, as the president, you've got to go out and do your own business development, but where does that come from? That business development process come from?
A lot of our current stuff comes from my past relationships, whether it's them themselves or referrals. We get a lot of referrals. Existing clients refer us a lot.
Yeah.
We have some serial entrepreneurs who we love them. They're hopping from their next to next, and we're always part of their entry package.
Oh, nice.
So that's really nice. And then, networking. I'm on a bunch of
you're all over.
Zooms, and I triple booked myself last night, so I did 15 minutes, 15 minutes, 15 minutes,
Wow.
and that's just kind of what I'm putting out there.
And you're part of the chamber. You've been, with CAMA for forever. I think people know you. You've been out there for a long time. And
Yep.
Right? It
Yeah.
makes it a little bit easier.
It helps.
Right? It helps when you make that outbound call.
Big time.
If you were sitting here with a younger Erin Higgins, right?
Yep.
Not Klebaur yet, but a younger Erin Higgins, what sort of advice or counsel would you give to a younger version of you, or a young protege coming up through the ranks at Imbue? What would they look for? What kinds of things would you share with them to make sure they didn't, not necessarily make the same mistakes, but avoid certain things?
So I think one of the things that I would say is to, try and keep your passion going, but don't forget to stay in the moment. And really try and pay attention to what you're doing and how it affects the other people you're working with.
Yeah.
Because I could be like a freight train at times, and it was all with good intentions, but maybe I didn't see how it was affecting some of my teammates as much because I was so aggressively running
Focused,
towards,
yeah.
focused. So as I matured, that was something I'm now very aware of, and I can achieve both. You really can achieve both.
Yeah, you can. You have to step back a lot of times and see what you're doing, what you're accomplishing, have fun doing it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, make sure that the other people around you are not, getting run over.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I know people like that.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, could you share a success story, something you're really, really proud of, that you think about at night and you go, wow, man, that was really a cool project, a cool campaign. The client loved it, and now we're friends, or we're never gonna, I can't separate my friendship from the business world.
I'm fortunate to say I have a couple of those because my approach is, business is personal.
Yeah.
For people to say, well, I'm different, at my business than I am personally, I think is just not the right approach.
Yeah.
When you're truly trying to care for your clients, then you can, I'm not saying I'm going to go over to their house every night for dinner or something like that. Maybe once in a while. I hope they take me out, But it is something that I really try to hold true.
Yeah.
And so, but I would say there was two different ones, but I'll select one, where when I was working on a certain account, they were acquired. And, typically people were telling me, oh, well, they have their own agency, you're never going to get in because they're the ones that was being acquired.
Right.
And that just fueled my fire because I love challenges. And I said, no way. So I fought and I continuously built a relationship with that VP of marketing, and I was able to ultimately win that business.
Wow.
And it became one of the largest accounts we had in the agency. And I still, have that relationship with him today, and it was really fantastic.
That's great. That's great. So, great career so far, and you ascend to this level of presidency. What was the conversation with Michael like when he sat down and he finally said, "Erin, I want you to take over and run the business"? Look, you're like,
I know, like that's how I felt. And he said, "I have some bittersweet news." And I thought, oh crap, I'm being fired because with everything going on. And he said, oh, you're not being fired, far from it. He said, the whole thing about when I met you, I thought, okay, my plan is now 5 years and I can go on to my next gig.
wow.
And he said, but that was 2 months in when I told the team, she can run this place. And something fell in my lap, and you're the reason that I feel comfortable being able to take it.
Wow.
And I chills and the big smile.
Yeah.
And he said, so I want you to think about it. I said, nope, I got it. And he said, okay, I thought you'd do that. And so next day we were working on transition.
I want you to think about it, but you already thought about it.
And afterwards I thought, should I have thought about that? But no, I mean, ever since I've come to Imbue, everything has been so in alignment, personally, professionally, and I'm just riding it. It feels right. I know it's right, and so I'm really excited about it.
Well, you could see the passion. You could see it, and your smile is just infectious.
Thank you.
Tell me who has. Now, you mentioned your mom earlier, and those of us who've been in the community know who your mom is, right? Because she was a lobbyist for a long time, and she worked for Caliper. And but who has inspired you over the years? What where do you get that from?
So I would say, currently, of course, it's my husband, and the discipline he brings as a police officer and Marine and everything there, where I can be kind of wild, and so he brings a little organization to my my passion, which is a nice balance.
Yeah.
My kids, my twin boys who will
Yep.
be 4.
Wow.
But it really stems from my mom. I know, right?
I know.
They'll be 4 next Tuesday.
That's crazy.
Yeah. From my mom and then my godparents. So they are like, all 3 of them are like my parents.
Yeah.
They, really supported my mom, and she's a single mother,
Yep.
career oriented, really doing a lot, and they were successful as well. They were lobbyists as well, and then worked for the Food Council and all kinds of stuff. So between the 3 of them, sorry. But my mom really brought a lot to it for me.
Yeah.
Her drive and the drive she had, and then she changed. Now she works for Catholic Charities, and she does a lot more of the charitable kind of things versus just corporate. And so I like seeing that balance. She's influenced a lot of
That's
that
awesome.
balance.
Wonderful. Couldn't be happier for you.
Thank you.
I'm so delighted that you're at this spot in your career, and so happy that you joined us on Rainmakers today.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. You're welcome. How about telling everyone how to get in touch with you and Imbue Creative?
Okay, so Imbue Creative, we're at imbuecreative.com, and you can reach me at Klebaur at imbuecreative.com, or call us 609-963-4004.
Don't forget that number.
Yeah, it was
Yeah. Klebaur, spell it.
Klebaur.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is a wrap for Rainmakers Roundup right here on Wednesday morning at RVN TV. Great episode. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful and safe week, everyone. We'll see you next week.